In this third and final part, I'm going to show you how to export out your textures so you can use them in, say, Blender, Unity, or Unreal. So just before I go and show how you export it, just as a reminder, in the texture set settings, if you have a look next to your material, you have the resolution of your material. Now, in Substance Painter, it is non-destructive, so we can actually increase and decrease the size of the shader, and we can see we get sort of higher or lower quality. So I can change this from say like a 2048 to a 4096, and you can see that we don't have any sort of like loss of quality. In fact, obviously we've gained in quality because we're going to a higher resolution. But obviously, if we go lower, so say like the lowest, like 128, you can see that there is like little to no sort of quality in the textures that can kind of go up to like say a normal 1080p to like 2K or 4K. So you can see that you can kind of adjust it as need be. But for now, I'm going to keep this to 2K. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to File, Export Textures. So here we have the output directory. So you want to say, okay, I want to save it to this particular folder. You can say which materials you want to export. So maybe you've made some changes to the barrel mat, and this hasn't changed. Like, right, I don't want to export out that. I just want to export out this material. But for this video, we'll be doing both. The output template. So we're always working with metallic roughness. So we're going to keep with that. File type. So we can change this to say a JPEG, a PNG, a Targa, any sort of like file format you want to go with. We'll probably keep with either like a JPEG or a PNG. Targa is used quite a lot in games, but we're gonna keep for these ones just for sake of simplicity. The size, so here we can actually say, actually, you know what, 2K is probably too high. I want to go to a lower resolution or maybe even go to a higher resolution. So here you can kind of change the size of the textures. So padding as well. So when you're exporting out your materials, you can tell Substance Painter to add a little bit of padding. So basically, it adds a bit more color and a bit more of your textures outside of your where your UVs are, just in case it might not it doesn't fully cover them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for default background color. So I want to show you both ways actually. So if I press export now, you'll see you get the export log. It will say, yep, these are exported out correctly. And if I go to my folder, you can see that I have now exported out these images. So this is with the background. So you can see it had the sort of the gray background here, but I can also do some padding if I wanted to. So if I go to say dilation infinite, export that, and you can see now that it's actually changed. So you can see that it's actually bleeding out a little bit. So it's continuing on the colors. So it gives you a little bit of wiggle room and a bit of padding in case like you're worried that your textures aren't fully covering your UVs correctly. But for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to go back and change it to background color. So what I can do now is maybe I want both the barrel and the barrel top material to be in one texture set. I don't need them to be in two separate ones. Because obviously that's how I've UV wrapped it. This is the barrel, this is the top parts of it. So I may need to go into Photoshop and say open up like say the barrel base color, the barrel top, and I may have to do a little bit of work here in Photoshop just to do a bit of a cleanup. So for instance, I'm going to unlock this by double clicking it. I might want to use the magic erase tool. And because I use the background color, I can just click this, get rid of that gray. And then I can just duplicate this layer over to say, like say this base color. Here, if I want to bring them all together into one image, or if I want to bring both of these over to say my UV over here, you can see now that there is a little bit of bleeding going on here. So I can see that there is some issues there. So I may need to just clean this up a little bit because obviously this black is running over. So I might have to clean this up slightly. But you can also say in the padding section as well, if has too much padding, you can also just bring it down slightly to say maybe like 5, for instance. So if I just export out this again, I go to here. And just before, I'm gonna get rid of this. Copy this over. So you see here, because I've changed the padding, it's no longer overlapping with the other UVs. So if I need to bring everything back into one big texture set, I can do that. Just again, I might have to do a little bit of cleanup here and there just to make sure, like, yep, everything's all in one texture map rather than kind of broken up into three or four different materials.